Hmm. Hello, man. Hello, Mgtows. Today we're going to talk a little bit about. Let me get the sound check. Hello, man. There we go. Hello. Today we're going to talk a little bit about intermittent explosive disorder. We see this with youths all over our country. Everywhere we go, we've seen youths lashing out and at elderly people, at causes, at anything they feel they might want to lash out at. I'm using a new camera, so I'm trying to get it focused and everything. And today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what I seen in Mgtow this week, what happened in Mgtow this week. We're going to talk about intermittent explosive disorder. It's a mental disturbance. It's a characteristic of an explosion from a youth or a minor, or it's usually aggressive behavior. The degrees of expression, expressive dispression with intermittent, explosive disorder outweigh or out the proportion of the provocation of the stressors prior to the incident. That means that whatever happens, the degree of reaction from the person is way over the top. Behaviors can be accounted to mental disorder, substance abuse, medication side effects, or general medication, medication conditions such as, tardive dyskinesia. The people are, always on edge, and epilepsy and head injuries. Head injuries being really kind of prevalent. There's ways to treat this, and it's an impulse. And what it really is, it's an impulse disorder on the side of your brain, on the right side of your brain. You have a little lobe right there. Men have larger little lobes right there. They control the impulses, and they control those. So we don't just do what we want to do any moment of the day. Females generally have smaller impulse lobe centers, and it's been associated with psychopaths and females that they lack control. One of the things, autistic kids lack control, and often you'll see them just go off for no reason at all, in proportionate to what's going on, like somebody moved their French toast, or the morning juice wasn't on the table, and that kind of sums it up. But we see this all around Mgtow. This week, Danny went off on me. I was trying to be really nice to Danny, and for some reason, he just went off, and I was wondering, well, what was that guy's problem? And it was really improportionate to what was going on and what was said. And I wanted to show you what was said before I make any false accusations. Like he says, I have to show you what happened on the channel. So with this, I'll bring up my screen, and we'll screen share it so you can see it, and I won't be called such a liar like I often am. So there we go. We got the screenshot we have, and I hope you can. Let me see if you can see that well. Yeah, you can see that well. And I'll increase the size on it so you can see the size and kind of roll with it. We'll roll with that. and let me see if I can do this. This is not a very good one here. Let's go down here. Let's move this one to the other one, and let's see what. Oops, let's do this. I have to open up the picture here and move it from one section to the other. And oops, there we go. And oh yeah, let me get this. Let me get the second one here. Let's see how this works. There we go. There we go. And I hope you can see that. Let me see if you can see that. And what was said? What was said on his his video? He was going off about IPG, and he was going off, and he was really going hard on on IPG about something. So I said, easy, Danny, breathe. Center your Mgtow. It's right there. Easy, Danny, breathe. Center your Mgtow. Danny came off as, F that, fuck that shit. um, it was an inappropriate response to that. And my second thing was, easy, Danny, monks can guide you into a happier, nicer, calmer place. Calmer minds prevail. And Danny went off. Danny had a moment. I don't know at that moment. It looked sort of like this. It was far, far over what you would expect for someone says, easy, calm. Let's be calm. That's all he said was, let's be calm, Danny. And he had one of these moments. That's the what Danny reminds me of. He reminds me of the guy from Roger Rabbit, and that's pretty much the haircut and everything. So Danny went off for what? For saying, let's go back there. And I said, easy, Danny, breathe, center your Mgtow. And he said, F that shit. It went off. And his last comment after, and I could show you the last comment here. Let's close that one down, and we'll go to the last comment that was made. I think that was on this board. Yeah, what came of that? There was no other comments made by me, and let's increase this. And Danny says, Trav, you want war? Send your effing bitches to attack my channel. Careful. What was said? What was said? It says, easy, Danny, breathe, 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 center your Mgtow. That's what was said that made Danny so angry. Does that quite seem like the actions of a normal person? Does that quite seem like the actions of a person that has any sanity at all? But I wanted to illustrate. Let's stop sharing at this moment, and we'll go back to the page here, and then we'll get back to the podcast. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody that's in today. Hello, men. We're talking about intermittent explosive disorder today, and I just showed you an example of intermittent explosive disorder. It far outweighs whatever happens. Like I said, autistic children get this. When you move their French toast in the morning, when they don't get chocolate pudding instead of vanilla pudding, and things like that, little things. I've seen autistic kids do a lot of things like that. And we're not talking about highly functioning kids. There's a lot of that lately. And what was my part in that? I said, calm yourself, center your Mgtow. Hello, man. Go your own way, man. Go your own way. You're all absolved of your sins, your sins of the past. Hi, Coach Eli. I'm not live tonight, but by the way, Trav is right about the purple pillars and everything. Thanks a lot, Eli. The purple pillars they've been bothering me lately, and a lot of people have been bothering me. I took an attack from a lot of people, and Eli is right. And out of all the people around Mgtow, Eli is one of my favorite people. He's calm and he keeps himself together. He doesn't have any explosive disorders, and I can see him smirking when all these trolls come around and do what they do to him. But Mgtow has got a lot of crazy in it, and it's called intermittent explosive disorder. It's a personality sickness. When a person interrupts their own personality and they can't control, there's no impulse control in their behavior. And they have what's called selective perception, and they perceive things as attacks when they're not really attacks. All I did say to Danny was, "Easy, Danny. Center your Mgtow." He was looking like that guy in Roger Rabbit. His eyes were spinning, and he was so mad. He was so mad that his hero Mgtow 101 was taken off. And there's other things that go along with this too. There's misinterpretation of other people's motives. When I was trying to center Danny, I was being very nice, I think. A person tends to see naturally neutral or even friendly behavior as malicious or manipulative. Saying easy, center your Mgtow, do the breathe, was perceived as Danny to being malicious or manipulative. And most of you know me. I'm a pretty easygoing. I'm a pretty easygoing guy most of the time. Most of these people have 4 symptoms of this personalization. They personalize everything. Everything has to be about them. Everything has to be about you're manipulative. You're being malicious, and they're very off center, and they have selective perception. My mom used to say that to my brother. He says he only hears what he wants to hear in life, and it was funny. It was funny. Let me do that. Turn that down a little. I get a little crackling from my my speakers. Everything's misinterpreted wrong. They go into denial and blame, and they provocate other people. They might experience some violent moments in their lives, and they're denying or minimalizing their own role in the fight or the outburst. That's what most of them done. I had that with Jamie too this week. Jamie says, "I don't go over." No, Jamie showed up on another thing and started making harsh comments, and I took screenshots. And if Jamie wants me to make a video about him and his screenshots, I will do that. If he continues to lie, if he accepts his responsibility, he came over to my channel and he started making snarky. I've never gone over to Jamie's channel and made snarky comments. I could care less about the purple pillars, but he came over and they prod. That's when they denial. That's a form of denial. It's provocating the violence while they're denying or minimalizing their own role in the outburst, and it's quite crazy. Let me turn that heater off for a second and do this. Oh my. Sorry about that. I always forget to turn the heater off, and then it starts buzzing. It's right in this outside wall back here, and it kind of buzzes, and it bothers me sometimes. But with this intermediate explosive disorder, we see this around Mgtow. They misinterpret things people say. Maybe they can't read too good. There's a lot of personalization, and they personalize the comments, and then they misinterpret it as manipulative or malicious, and then they have that explosive thing. And he's like, "Okay, Trav, let's get it on Mgtow," and it's kind of funny, and when you see it, it's rather disturbing, and you have to ask yourself where these children come from, what kind of people are bringing these children in here. They're not ready for Mgtow yet. They're very immature, and most of the time it's adolescent behavior. IED appears more common in people with a family history of mood disorders or substance abuse. And when I look at Mr. Explosive, I can see that he's probably on some kind of mood enhancing drugs, and there may be some mood disorders in that family, and it's sad. And as this morning I was unfolding my I was unfolding my opinions about what I seen, and I did a video this morning, and what I seen around Mgtow is it motivates me. It highly motivates me. These people think, oh, that I look around and I see this arrogant attitudes and this immaturity from Danny and Jamie and an understanding from the Purple Pillars about what Mgtow is and all that stuff. And it makes me think, man, we got a lot of work to do around here. And that's a good thing. And that's a good thing. The more people that came in with these sort of behaviors and stuff, I have to look at the thing positively, and I have to look at the thing as it is. And then that's what we're supposed to be doing as Mgtow producers. We're supposed to be reaching out to these men somewhere deep in Danny's psyche, or his id, or his self, his ego. There's some monster up there. And we all know what monster lays in the minds of men in Mgtow. There's someone that hurt him, a mother, a sister, a lover, a trans lover, in Danny's case. And we have to be compassionate, and we have to, I'll continue to talk to him nicely. He sort of set me off this week, but I'll continue to talk to him nicely and do my thing and do my part, and try to get to the bottom of what's wrong with some of these cats in here. We've seen this with Alex. We've seen this with a lot of the guys. But when we think about the opportunity to help, that's what we're here. Do no harm. There is an opportunity to help on these things, and there is an opportunity to get to the bottom of it, and try to take the high road and be a better man about it. And sometimes that's calling out the bad behavior, so the bad behavior can be seen, and then you deal with it like a man. And that's the way we both like to, we all should look at this thing. We call out the behavior, and then we label whether it's whether he has a false view on what's happening. And I think that's what's in this thing. He has a false view about what's happening in Mgtow, and maybe his Mgtow doesn't quite match with the rest of Mgtow, and maybe we can sort through those things. But intermittent explosive disorder comes out in so many ways. Let me see who's in the room here. And there's Dynamite Rabbit. Hello, Dynamite Rabbit. Hello, Asoistolo 810. You're going to have to show me how to pronounce that someday. And Riff Mangos, and Metal. Hello, Metal. And hello, Mgtow Vet 67, and James Gilbert, and Staying Free Mgtow. Hello, Staying Free. Mgtowica. Hello, Mgtowica. And everybody else that's in, Badass Dan and Coach Eli, and Forrest Burns. Hello, Forrest. Joe Buddy, and let me see who else made some comments. Whoosh, whoosh. Hello, my friend Whoosh, whoosh. And as we look at these people's behavior, we have to ask ourselves what we're supposed to be doing here in Mgtow. Are we supposed to be helping out? And I think that's the thing. We're supposed to be helping out, and we're supposed to be trying to move the men into a more zen-like state, where they're happy with the universe that they live in, and they're not seeing demons everywhere. I think that's the problem. Whatever it was in that ego that set that moment off, whatever he was seeing was probably not true to reality. And it was pretty much all I said was, easy, man, center the Mgtow in you. Center the Mgtow in you. And that means so much to a lot of us when they're having these explosive moments and they're yelling at the world. When they're yelling at the world and they're unhappy, you have to look at that monster up in their head. What was that monster that set these things off? They gravitated towards Mgtow for a reason, and usually we know what that reason is. A lost love, a betrayal from from either the government or a woman or a close family member, even a mother, most of the time it'll come from a mother, a baby mama. Somebody did something wrong. They're looking out over the world and things aren't going exactly right for them. And they gravitate into Mgtow and they want answers. But when they first come in, like Danny and a lot of the guys that come around, they're quite explosive and they're quite toxic. And they haven't really found that peace and serenity in their mind, or at least, around their house. There's no serenity anywhere they look. Whatever there is there, it's not when you're exploding like that, when you're always on edge like that, when you're always going off on people. I find it hard to believe that there's a calmness in their house. I mean, you look around here, my son comes over and well, my sons, and when they lay their head on my couch and everything, they always say, Dad, there's a certain calmness here. There's never no yelling. There's never no screaming. We talk things out. We talk about our wishes, our wants, our desires, and our plans and our goals and what we'd like to have in the future to make our lives easier. And we talk them things through. And when I apply that to the Mgtow world, I can apply the same thing. What are your desires? What are the things that you want in life? What would you like to do? What would you like to see Mgtow be? Do you have plans? What do you want? I mean, do you want a new camera, or you want a flashlight, or what would make you happy at this moment in your life? A new Jeep, or what are those goals you set for yourself? And them things are important to Mgtow because sometimes material items, when you secure them and you get them, or this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to the park today, and that happens. It confirms that you're well-centered and everything's okay. And the world's not such a bad, harsh place. Them are the questions we ask in Mgtow here too. Is the world such a harsh place for these men that screaming and yelling at other Mgtows, making other Mgtows your enemy? His last comment, and I'll show it to you again. It's like, "Ooh, we're gonna go to war, Trav." An internet flame war because Danny can't control his emotions like a child. He's like a child. He's like an autistic kid. That French toast wasn't lined up in the morning with his orange juice in his pudding cup. But that's what we get around here. We get it from the strangest places sometimes. We get people dumped on us. Sometimes they come and they go, and then we have to deal with them. Estrella. That's how you pronounce it. Estrella 810. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm trying to look at it harder. I have a little screen here. It's just a little screen that I can that I can see on. I probably should turn my bigger one on over there, but so I can actually see the things. And I rarely put my glasses on while I do this. When I go into Joe father mode, it's like, you boys calm down. Don't make me come out there. Don't make me come see you, Mgtows. Oh, and like always, hey man, you're absolved of all your sins, your simp sins of the past. Over here, we get by those things, and here in Mgtow, we forgive the men and we go on. And yes, badass Dan, you're absolved of all your Mgtow sins of the past. Here, we're all free of those sins, and we move into a better place in life. Hopefully, a happier place. A place that's worthy of each and every one of you to be in, not a shithole. And there's no anger and everything. You ever walk into a friend's house? And I think that's what made me change things in my life. Oh, that one wasn't quite done. What changed me in my life is I had an opportunity to see how people, when people were yelling and screaming and how it looked. You ever walk into a friend's house and his mom's just yap, 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 and they're yelling back and forth. And there's some yap, 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 and it's over something stupid or something silly, and you get to witness that from the other side, from an observer's point of view. And from the observer's point of view, it looks horrible. And I've seen violent acts come from those, and little boys lashing out at grown adults for, like I said, when I didn't get my pudding cup. They used the term all the time when these kind of kids come around, give them pudding. You got to say nice things to them, or else they're gonna go off. And I stopped believing in that a little while ago, but I have to recenter my Mgtow and get back to the Joe that's a kinder, gentler Joe, and the Joe that I want to see when I wake up in the morning. I want to be happy. I want to be without all that crazy high shit and weird garbage running around in my head. And I don't want to be that guy. I want to be happy Joe. I want to be calm Joe. And sometimes I have to calm myself around here because I get some of the darndest things written towards me and said. I say said, they're just written comments, published comments towards me that are really not true. And most of them are really just ad hominem attacks. And, if you knew me in your life, I think, most people, if you knew me and you're coming over here around here, you can lay your head down on one of the beds in the back at night and have a few beers and sleep on a couch or watch some TV, and you'll find that it's very calm around here. There's never no yelling, no screaming, no girl's mouth going whack, whack, I want this, I want that, I want that. You're not treating me right. Bang, 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 bang. None of that. We all had that. Too much in our lives. I put up for 16 years of my life. Yak, 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 yak. You're not treating me right. I don't have everything in the world. You're such a simp man. You're ballless. You're nutless. If you were a good man, you would buy me a new car, buy me a new purse. Yeah, I put up with that for a while. Yak, 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 yak. And it was every day for years sometimes. And my serenity was lost. The biggest thing that I lost during that time that I envy, I want back, I wish I could get back, was my serenity, my peace. Maybe my life would be different now. Maybe I would be healthier. Maybe, maybe I'd be a billionaire. I don't know where my life would have been if I would have demanded that thing in your life that you desire. And most of the time men just want to be easy, have serenity, calmness. There's nothing wrong. I want to feel in this world that there's nothing wrong. But most of us know with any kind of female anywhere, you're just going to get the constant, everything's wrong, nothing's right, you guys are bad, you men are bad, 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 bad. It's like puppets, bop, 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 bop. Puppets. They're like little stringed puppets. Everything's bad, everything's horrible, I hate you. And you lose your serenity, and you don't just lose it, it gets stolen from you. Yeah. The moments that you look back on your life, you got one life to live, and if I can get every moment in my life that was stolen from me, those serenity thieves, I think they're like Pacman, they eat the serenity, chomp, 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 chomp. You know, they just eat. What was that great Stephen was the author where the like Pacman things were eating the world. That's what I feel like sometimes these people are. They're eating up all my serenity in the world, and oh, trifle. I'm trying to read the trifle. I'm glad to see. Yeah, they're eating up all the serenity in the world, and they're lashing out, and they're making life miserable for each one of us Mgtows around here because we're just trying to get along. We're just trying to get our way, talk to some of the brothers and the cats around here. There's a lot of good people, and that's all we're really doing, and sharing our opinions and trying to move Mgtow into a brighter future where every young man knows the risks of marriage and dating, and they know where babies come from and stuff like that right out of high school. They know all this stuff, and they don't get. Yeah, Langoliers. That was it, Sparks. Thanks. That's 2 days in a row that Sparks saved me from not knowing something. Langoliers, one of them little Pacman. They were just eating the world up. That's what these IUD males, and that's what females do a lot. They eat your serenity, and like I said, with these guys that come around and they're detractors of Mgtows, they're planting seeds of doubt too. So they're planting a really ugly forest behind them of really ugly plants, doubt plants. Everything's doubt. Everything. I don't know if you guys are right, And when I look at the purple pillars, that's what they're saying. They look at Mgtow and they look at the monk, and they look at regular Mgtows that are like, no, stay away from me. I'm going my own way, and I don't need a whole bag of women on my backs. So I don't need a whole bag of crazy with me. That's what we're saying. Well, I got things to do, and I don't need that whole bag of crazy with me. And normal Mgtows, they're not going to talk about their sexuality. They're not going to talk about doll screwing. They're not going to talk about whether they're a tranny like Danny's tranny channel, and they're not going to talk about those things. They want to talk about what they're doing. They want to talk about their peace on this planet, and then what they think about things, and they don't want a whole bag of crazy with them because they had it up to here with all that crazy. That's where I was too, right here, right there, right up to there with all that. I felt like I was drowning in crazy until I got to Mgtow, and then you got to shake that off. Like I say, a dog, you're the big dog, you're the alpha male. You're the, you're the predator on this planet. You're human. You're a male. You're the male predator. You're the apex predator. You are it. Don't look around you, man. You are it. Each and every one of you, you're the apex male. I mean, shake those fleas off, the parasites off you. And, enjoy the world around you because you can make that choice for yourself. Sometimes we let things hang around and linger way too long. Even in Mgtow here, we let guys that aren't Mgtow, we know they're not Mgtow, we let them hang around and linger until they really, really do something stupid. I think we've seen a lot of that recently around Mgtow. And there was sort of this shedding at the beginning of the year. Luckily, it's a few months later, and I feel some springs coming. And I went out the other day. Like I said, I went out the other day, and I was looking at the bushes and walking through the woods a little bit, and the new the buds were right there. They were coming out, and I thought, oh God, it's almost over, and spring's coming, and everything's going to be great, and there's going to be a calmness and a peace over my neighborhood, and a funny thing happens around here. We have ash trees. We have white ash trees, and when they fall, they start decomposing, and then over the winter, the coldness kind of makes an oil in it, and then in the spring, it releases that, and it smells just like French perfume. So the whole neighborhood's going to smell for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then those little blossoms from the trees are going to come out. And for weeks and weeks and weeks, it's going to smell like paradise, and I'm going to be out there fishing and the river and in the lake, and it will be a little bit of paradise that I can enjoy, and after the hard winter, and I think Mgtow should get into that sort of thing too. There should be a little bit of paradise coming up where we can all just kind of forget all the garbage and look around and say, hey, spring's here. But you know what we're going to get? We're going to get the sympacalypse with the spring and this zen and this thing, with the spring coming up and with all the good in this hand that's going to be around and all that, all that nice sunlight, and the trees are blossoming and the apple blossoms come out and the peach blossoms and the flowers are everywhere and the birds are chirping and everything's beautiful and you're fishing and with all that crazy good, sort of this negative thing happens. The sympacalypse starts. That's when the male of the species goes into mating drive. It seems to happen every spring. The first girl that walks by with her shorts on, or the first sexy girl that shows up shaking her butt around Mgtow, turns on the sympacalypse, and then and then you got to like, oh man, men are just, and then that's when they start tournamenting. That's when they're being an ape thing, and they're trying to get their territory. But Mgtow men, we men, I mean, we're just looking for that fishing hole that you can, get in there and throw our fishing rod out there, pull your hat over your eyes and sleep a little and enjoy some of the calmness and the beauty that's in the world. But yeah, with everything, I think it's a zing and the zag, or what do they call that? The Chinese thing with the circle. You got the one thing offsets the other, but yeah, that's where I'm going to try to get, and I'm going to try to get there faster this year. Maybe do a little deep introspections into myself and what are my behaviors, and am I experiencing a little seasonal depression from all the long cold days. You can look out there and it's cloudy and there's no sun, and what do I need to do? Get a little sunlight, get a little more active. I do need to lose a few more pounds. I went to the doctor today, and I had to step on the dreaded scale of the dreaded scale of truth. And I was hoping on losing like at least 40 pounds over the winter, but that didn't happen. I didn't get a chance to work out or do anything. And but hey, the dreaded scale of truth is there. It's there for a reason to tell you, hey, Joe, start working on yourself a little more. And I know I got to do that, and I will. I have a great ability to lose weight when I want to, and thin out, and grow muscle and stuff like that. So that's something that told me today. Hello, indispensable P guy Tao. Hello, indispensable P. Yeah, the yin and what did you call that fine dog? The yin and the yang. Yeah, the yin and the yang. I should know that one because my sister, she has the tattoos on her, the yin and the yang. She's doing great now. My sister, she's out and she's a registered nurse. The next level up from that, where she does a lot of things. They flew her off to Arizona for the winter, and they're flying her to Hawaii, and she's going to start working in Hawaii. And I'm just so proud of her. She makes me so happy. She's independent, and she's not a feminist, and I mean, she's doing good. She's working, and she's doing her thing, and she makes me happy. She's going to send me some Hawaiian Kona coffee. It don't take a lot to make me happy. Send me some good coffee, and I'm like a dog with the coffee. I'll be your friend for life. I'll be like, I'm your friend. I'm your friend. Oh, But I just wanted to talk about the intermittent explosive disorder. And I understand. I understand that it's been a long, long, cold winter. And a lot of us live in the north. And if you don't live in the north, it's been a miserable, miserable, cloudy winter. And there seems to be a lot of grayness and a lot of hostility out there. But hey, spring's right around the corner. And that first sunny day, get out there and just look up at the sun and soak some of that in. Yeah, remember, you guys, all of you guys remember, from year to year, just that first time in the spring when you just, I don't know what moment. Sometimes it's walking out of a grocery store. Sometimes you're just walking out of your house into your driveway with a cup of coffee in the morning. When you just kind of look up at the sun, close your eyes, and you soak all that in, that energy. That vitamin D, whatever it is. Maybe you have your shirt on. Maybe I don't take my shirt off because it scares the neighbors. My hair is hairier than my face. My back hair, you can braid my back hair, and it terrifies the neighbors, and they throw things at me if I walk around without my shirt on. So I won't be running around too much without my old body is, not quite the greatest sight in the world either anymore. So I don't scare the neighbors like that. But you young guys, you maybe just soak in some of that sun, and for a moment, everything's okay. For that moment, there ain't nothing wrong in the world. And that's a beautiful thing. I live for those moments in life where nothing's wrong. I got my coffee, the sunshine, and the birds are, it's almost like a Disney episode right playing out in front of you in your in your own home or outside in the park or wherever you're at in that parking lot, or wherever it happens, and you just got your face up to the sun, and you're just, oh, that feels so good. you know let take in that vitamin D, and we start changing. We start getting better attitudes, and we start getting happier around spring. And I think it'll show in Mgtow, and I hope it comes real soon because, these last few months around here, oh, these last few months around here have been rough, and I think it does show. Seasonal disorder shows in Mgtow. Everybody starts, going at each other, and nobody seems to be happy. Everybody seems to think there's an enemy out there, and I think we got to take care of this, and I think it'll come around, and we can get a little mellow, and start talking about things that is just, start talking about MGTOW stuff. What makes you happy? What makes you upset? Can you see the outrage in there, and how to deal with every time you open up the papers, or in the gynocentrism just kind of leaks out on the pages that you read on the news and everything, and you're like, ah, you know, you get a better attitude about that. Let that stuff roll off your back. We can observe all that garbage, but we do get saturated around here. Um, if you're around MGTOW for a long time, uh, you're going to see day in, day out, day in, day out, people showing you the videos of female behavior, and horrible, horrible female behavior, and the gynocentric world out there, what the government's doing, a lot of hate towards men, and that gets overwhelming. We get oversaturated, and it starts to desensitize us, and it starts to, we get apathy, not empathy. We have empathy. Men mostly have empathy, but we get apathy towards the world, and it's like there's nothing we can do about it, and the horror is out there. And I'm hoping spring coming up, and a more positive MGTOW attitude that I'm trying to get into. get that groovy hippie shit going, Joe. I should know how to do that really easy because I was raised by hippies, and I was in a hippie community when I was younger, and we had quite the hippie community, and that was all about the love and the love and the drugs and everything. I ran from that screaming and joined the army. I couldn't take it no more, but yeah, yeah. Um, but positivity is a good thing, and I don't believe in overt positivity like happy, joy, joy, happy, joy, joy. Sometimes you see that with the Christians. They're like happy, joy, joy, happy, joy. You ever see Bubble Ball when the bus pulls up and the kids come out and they're dancing and they're the Christians and Bubble Boy. And they're like happy joy, and then they kidnap them and try it. That's overt joyness. That's it. You look at that stuff and you go, oh man, something wrong with that. But no, in Mgtow we should have a healthy balance of there should be a healthy balance of that the yin and that yang thing, a healthy balance of what you intake and what makes you happy, and the garbage that you're bringing in. And a lot of garbage is the stories. We read the stories, we hear the stories, and every day I get a horrible story. It seems like I got over 1,000, some 1,400 videos, so I get a lot of comments during the day, and some of the stories are heartbreaking. So one man just wrote me yesterday. He's elderly. His wife left him. He had a heart attack. Because he had a heart attack, she took everything. He's got problems. He's disabled, and all these things, and he feels the world hates him. And I was saying, hey, we all been there. I hear these stories over and over and over, and I can empathize and I can be there for him. At least for a few minutes, somebody knows what he's gone through in this lifetime. But after a while, it's like, it's like winter, like I was saying. You get that seasonal disorder, and it starts dragging you down, and everything becomes negative, and you forget to look out at all the beauty and the happiness that you've pretty much built for yourself. I was just looking at that door back there, and I started painting that door the other day, and I never finished it. Oh, I fixed it. I fixed the little thing there, and because it got kicked in about 2 years ago, and I never fixed it. But I noticed I gotta paint that. I got some paint around here somewhere. Maybe that's it. I think my paint froze in the winter. So hello everybody. Hello, creative creature. Hello, creative creature. I just think he is entirely the wrong community. Okay, you were talking about. I don't like coach. You're taking a pounding out there. The horror, Mgtow. Yeah, yeah. But somewhere down the line here, I think. Don't get it. Don't you get it, Eli? Poor Eli. Guys don't pick on Eli. He's just doing his thing. How he sees to do it. Hello, Derek Lee. So hello, everybody that joined us. And it's funny. Mgtow's a funny place. And like I said, man, for your own sanity sometimes, for at least for your own sanity, some days just kind of step back, roll your roller chair back away from the world and take a different look, a different perspective about things, and try to see the joy in it, try to see the happiness, try to bring a little light to it, and maybe that'll take drinking a few beers or with your friends, or going out into the wilderness like I like to do, enjoying the sunshine, or take a break from it from a day, all the Mgtow saturating your brain with horrible images all day. That can't be good for you. But sometimes sometimes we do need to take a break and get more positive about life. And I did the example of the intermittent explosive disorder, but I wanted to lead this way up into a positive thing. Take all that negative I felt yesterday and the day before from the horrible comments and everything, all the horrible comments that I was getting, and then take that and turn it into something positive. Uh, maybe I should take a look at myself. Maybe someone is right about something. Maybe I should do an introspection. Maybe I just need to find a little peace in my life, and that's what Mgtow is about right there, finding that peace and serenity. Will this assist me and find my peace and serenity? Um, or it's a call to action, what it really is. And I have to do something. I have to manage this thing. I can't let it beat me down, and these really negative people drag me down with their crazy. And there is a lot of crazy around here when you look at people like that. I mean, all I said was easy, man. Center your Mgtow. I say that to a lot of people. Center your Mgtow. That's what I'm saying to you guys. Center your Mgtow. Easy. Find some serenity somewhere. Find the monk in you. Just breathe and taking the world while you have a chance, and taking all the good things you have in your life. Look around. Maybe buy yourself something. Today I went to. We like to go to this little restaurant. It's around the corner. It's got a Polish food, and they made me a stuffed pepper. A Polish. It's just sweeter than the regular stuff, not the Italian style, like the Polish style. And it was stuffed with some sausage. We got some mashed potatoes, and we got some ice cream. And me and my friend were just after my doctor's appointment. I just we just relaxed, and we were laughing, and we were watching a few videos, and eating some good food with some the people I like to be around, and just relax and enjoy the thing. I was looking out the window, trying to look. I was looking at a different perspective of things, and enjoy what you got, and not let all the crazy garbage dig into my soul and lay little snake eggs and seeds. And that's what I call them. I read a great book. It was written from a doctor out of Cleveland Clinic, and I knew him personally. He used to give speeches, and he would talk about snake eggs, about people laying snake eggs in your brain, and those things hatch. And then what they do is they do what snakes do. They It's not good for you, and you got to identify these things. And do you have friends, or do you have acquaintances in Mgtow that help you through that when people start laying snake eggs in your on your channel? That's what they come around. They're negative little Nancy's, and I like that, negative little Nancy's. and they and they act like little girls, and it's this bitch brain is what it is. And we talked about that yesterday, and a little bit the bitch brain. And but that's what we're here for. We're here to talk to men about men's behavior, and clean our side of the street, clean up our lives, and put the girls away for a while. Just put them away, push them. No, I can't have all that crazy on my back while I'm trying to work on me. And I think spring's coming, and it's a good time to maybe start working on me a little bit. Try to find that inner peace that I used to have. It's been such a long, cold winter, and that's my responsibility, 100% to do that. I'm not. No one else is going to do that for you, and I come to realize that in life a little while ago. No one else, no woman, no other female, no man, no no person, no God, no animal, no is going to find that for you. Is going to help you do that for yourself. You Mgtow, you're responsible for your own happiness. You're responsible for getting yourself to a place of serenity. Um, And that's a truth. No one's going to do that for you. That's when we realize as men that all that validation that we were getting from the women and all that, we were using that to prop up our broken system of how to find serenity for ourselves. And once you realize that and you jump over to the next thing of doing it yourself, that's when you get the Mgtow. Yeah. And you thought, wow, this is a pretty good living. I'm I'm doing things right. I'm looking at myself as a real person, I'm a real boy. and that's where the Mgtow starts paying off dividends. People notice it around you. Work becomes easier. Relationships become easier. Relationships with your family, your friends. You start cutting bad influences out of your life, and you become the Mgtow you want to see when you wake up in the morning. When you look in the mirror and you say, "Hey, I'm okay. I'm a decent guy." You know, it's what it's about. Finding that in you. I don't believe all the stuff that they say about men out there. Most men I know are decent, honest men. They just have to find that in themselves. They're confused about it. That's what I see in the purple pill guys too. They haven't quite found that thing in themselves that makes them happy, where they can start. They can stop doing all that searching. They're searching for this. They're searching for that. They want that girl in their lives. They need that. No, find that in yourself. You always find that in yourself. There's nowhere else to find it. And that's the lesson you need to learn in this world, at least. I'm trying to read the comments here. I haven't had to moderate that. I'm sorry if I missed any comments. Like I say, while I'm talking, and sometimes I miss to moderate the comments. And there we go. There's one there. I like to approve all the comments, and unless they're really horrific and angled towards me, which there do come sometimes. People like they just come around and yell at me for a little bit. Joe, you're a bad man. But life's funny, and it's short, and you only got one to live. Uh, Once you start doing the Mgtow, you take you sweep your own side of the street after doing a thorough view of yourself. Um, you find that serenity, that happiness, and everything, and that's what it's about. That's what we want for all men. It's instead of seeing men, ready one step away from having a heart attack, uh, getting blown away by marriages and divorces, and that became so prevalent in our society that we had to start a group called Mgtow to combat it. That's pretty sad. It's pretty sad, I thought, that the government, our government, and women uh, are so horrible that we had to start a group called Mgtow. You got to wonder. When you put it in that perspective, it's like, geez, has the world just has the world gone crazy? And I think it has, for the most part, gone crazy. But you don't have to live there. I mean, don't let these people live in. A buddy of mine always says, "Don't let those people live in your brain." they're 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 living in your brain rent free, and you're letting it happen. That's what he's saying. And you got to release those things to get rid of them. And I'm trying to do that today after all the horrible things that was said to me yesterday, and some of the betrayals. That's the hardest part. Sometimes the betrayals that some men don't see that they do. You're trying to be nice, and also they're lashing out at you, and whatever they heard, whatever they drew up, whatever garbage that they put in their brain. Um, No, it shouldn't be your problem. That's their problem. They have to deal with that. Your job as a Mgtow is find that oneness with the universe and yourself. Uh, that's your job. And if everybody did that, man, we'd start looking like a hippie club. You start looking like this, like they'll say, "What? Look at what is a bunch of hippies? They're all being happy and shit." That's what the world would say about us. Look at those hippie Mgtows. They're all being happy. We hate that. That's what they're saying too. By the way, the Mgtows are trying to be happy. We hate that. Can't have happy people running around this world. They happy up everything. That's what the blue pill world's saying to us. Uh, Hello, John Kramer. How you doing today? Hello, Templar. Hello, Derek. Uh, Hello, Mgtow Oracle. Good to see you. Mgtow Oracle always pops up right around spring. People hate it when you're happy. Yeah, they do. People hate it when you're happy, Oracle. Uh, Messenger said it was like the crabs in the bucket thing. Misery loves company. Uh, you know, Suffering, people that suffer in marriages and suffer through all that stuff, and the Christians that do everlasting suffering, um, they want to drag you down to that. They hate that if you're happy, there must be something. You must be doing something wrong. That's what they think, and it's funny, and it is funny. All that. So Jordan Peterson, he's one of those guys that you got to suffer, keep on suffering, but that's what the world wants out of you because they want your utility. And if you're keep on suffering, that's the utility. I mean, that's the conduit for the utility energy. Once you start believing in that, you become a slave to this. You become a slave to this world. Oh, I'll just suffer some more, and I'll just suffer some more. I'll suffer some more. And I was just noticed that autofocus feature. That's kind of weird. Uh, yeah, they'll keep suffering to the day they're dying. And when they're dying on their deathbed, they'll think about, why did I do all that suffering? I never had a happy day in my life. I see a lot of sadness out there from the older guys. I really didn't live life, or they're telling stories about, weird things. Like, we went into a bar and we got in a fight with and I got punched in the face, and that was their happy moment in life. I got a black eye, and it was my badge of honor, and I wore it. Getting punched in the face shouldn't be your badge of honor in life. Oh, son of a bitch. Hmm. Oh, so what are you guys talking about in the chat? Is men are acting like 10-year-olds. Men are acting, but are there some usual PUAs and blue pillars? Some some are, but those are usually, yeah, men. These men are acting like Hugo says. Most of the men's that come around, they start acting immature like that. The PUAs are naturally immature. They're playful. Uh, I heard one Mgtow. They're just too playful. I mean, and that's like SFM was talking about yesterday, the day before. They want to play with you, and they want to do the shoulder bump. And no, I'm not into that. Don't touch me. I don't want. I'm not playful. And all they're doing is that oozing sexuality thing with that they do because they want the women to think I'm playful and and they're just doing that for the game, and it just comes off as immature and icky. It makes me feel creepy when they're around. And it makes me feel like they're a little bit homosexual too, and I don't like that. That ew moment, like, dude, don't touch me. But yeah, the purple pillars are they're that way too. They're trying to emulate the PUAs and be playful and that sort of stuff. And it comes off as cringy, doesn't it? It's just cringy. And to a real man, nah, we don't do those things. We just try to. Netherson 92 Traversable needs a 60s car project. I almost bought one. I did. Me and my friend were looking at one around the corner. I missed it, and I think I could have got it for like $1,500. It was a Toronado. It was a Toronado from late '72, and I really love the way the Toronados look. And I was going to take that and put that in my garage and start tearing it down piece by piece. But I missed it, and we were driving up down the road and over, and then he goes, "Oops, your car's gone," and I was like, I missed it. But a nice car project would be nice. An old Toronado. I used to have back in the day, I had a Mercury Marquis, and would I love to have a Mercury Marquis nowadays. It was the gray one that was about 23 feet long, and it had that red crushed velvet interior. Had the little opera window in the back, the Mercury Marquis with the opera window in the back. It wasn't the 78. I can't remember. It was the 74 or the 76, the 72, one of those ones. But it was actually just big, and it was huge, and it got about 8 miles to the gallon, and and I love that car. That would have been a beautiful car to rebuild and just kind of tool around in the neighborhood and drive it here once in a while, because the gas is expensive, and when you get 8 miles to the gallon, that's a $5 trip every time you drive it to the grocery store. But yeah, projects are nice, and I wish I had a car project. You know what happened to that car? Um, I used to drive it everywhere. We used to take it on vacations and stuff, and it was really great for that long distance trips because it had a lot of room, a lot of rear leg room, and I could lay down in the back seat of that car and not wish for any room. But we were coming back from a camping event on the Alleghenies in lower Pennsylvania, past Jamestown and past, and we usually do other things, but we did that, and it was one of those days like in May, and the Mercury Marquis had the all that chrome. There was like pieces of chrome on it, like everywhere. It was huge and chrome, and it had the chrome going. And you used to have to put the wheel wells on there so it covered the wheel wells, and I put those on, and those were chrome, and I put them all on, and it was looking nice and everything. And we're coming back from the Allegheny Mountains, and there was a hailstorm, and there were usually I'm like, it's just a little hailstorm, but there were big hails, and I couldn't get under a bridge, and it just dented and pitted every little mark of that car. All of a sudden, this wind came, and it was like bam, 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 or like golf balls. And I was like, that's the only time I ever seen that in my life, and it had to take my joy from me. And it dented all the chrome and everything on that. I had that car for about a year. I never got over that. I was like, every time I'd look at it, and I was like, my baby. The weather. The insurance company didn't want to pay that up. They didn't at that time either. Didn't pay me a dime. Said it was an act of God. And I think it was. God was angry at me or something. But they didn't give me a dime for that. I don't know if insurance companies nowadays cheat people like that. You get insurance for a reason for things like that, but never got a dime for that. And it pretty much ruined the exterior look of that car. But I wish I had one of those now to work on. That might be a nice project someday. Oracle, I just donated to the thrift store. You went to the thrift store? I love the thrift store. I was going to say, I was going to go to the thrift store, Nino 110, Nino. What you call, no, we're not going to do that. Destroyer 12, no racist jokes, please. I need to do that. I got to close. I could donate. You're going to donate some clothes to the thrift store. They got those big boxes out there. And you just dump your clothes in there. I had a buddy that was, no, I'm not going to tell that story. That's Trim is a Debbie father. Oh, Trim. You're going to talk about Trim. So with that, I just want to talk a little bit about, spring's coming, regaining your serenity. If you've been cooped up and it seems like spring was never going to come. It's almost here. It's around the corner. Easter is coming. The little kids will be running around with their Easter clothes on and their white shoes. I love that day. It signifies an awakening and everything. It's a good time to look deep into yourself and decide, do I need to work on this? Do I need to work on my serenity a little? Do I need to do something nice for myself and maybe go fishing and, try to be a happier person? And that reflects here in Mgtow, what do I need to do for my sanity, for my well-being? And it's a good time to think about those things and think about the way life is, and cut those threads from those things that are dragging you down, and try to be a happier person. Don't be such a little intermittent bomb ready to go off. I'm going to do that at any moment, because we see too many of those guys around here. And with that, I think I'm going to shut this podcast down. I've gone quite far enough, as far as I can possibly go. I think we're a little over an hour. I think. I'm not really sure. But yeah, Mgtow's. John said, no, Trav. Is there anything else going out there? I could invite somebody in. If I don't think Stefan's around, and I don't know if there's anybody around that does podcasting. But yeah, spring's about reawakening and a re-emerging of your serenity, your goodness, your that peace and happiness within Mgtow. And it should mean a little more to us Mgtows, because that's what we're originally searching for. We've seen all the bad, and I got ready in my life to see a little bit of good, because I've seen too much bad, and Mgtow helps me into that, and an awakening, a new awakening. Maybe think about that, the way we think about things. Maybe is there a new, better way to think about things? Uh, Maybe, I don't know. I'll look. I'll look. And is there a better way to run my life? Is there a better way to make money? Is there a better way that I can do things? I know I'm going to have to mow the grass soon. That sucks. Yeah, prepping's nice. I got way too much rice, and I decided to start to eat the rice lately. I'm going to eat the rice and then redo it. And I got way too many noodles stored. I got like 20, 30, 40 boxes of them up there. And so I'm going to start eating that stuff and start changing it out. So that's the way prepping should be. You should have about 6 months of food on hand. And then, but with that 6 months of food, the dry goods you should start eating, so it's always fresh. You don't want to open up your dry goods when if the zombie apocalypse comes or whatever we think that's going to happen, and find out that it tastes bad, and you forgot to rotate your stock. Yeah, rotate your stock when you're prepping. And that's about it, guys. Find that peace, find that joy in your life. Spring is about an awakening. We can use this time to awaken ourselves and re-look around and find that serenity that maybe have been lost over a long, cold winter. And with that, I'm going to go. And like always, Mgtow's about Mgtow's. All of each and every one of you're important. Without you, there wouldn't be no Mgtow. Thanks a lot for coming around, man. And thanks a lot for being Mgtow. Mgtow. It's not ending. It's not stopping. It's not doing the stop thing. It doesn't want to stop. Let me live. It's still live. It won't stop. There it goes. Failed to stop broadcast. Okay. YouTube, for some strange reason, will not let me stop the broadcast. YouTube loves me. I know I love them too. But let me try this again. You guys take care, and you guys have a great day. Let me see if I can